Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show. Today, we are painting.
That's right, folks. Tonight will be our last installment of the Xenodragons saga, where we will finish up these beautiful, these beautiful monstrosities, and show the final work at
the semi-final.
The Sunday show, which will be next
So
Sunday.
will be touch-ups, I think. Probably not actually. We'll probably do a bit more after this, but
Mostly just
last video.
Yeah.
Also, whatever.
You want to show them what you've done in the interim?
Yes, I did a bit more dry brushing. I think I did a bit too much because now it's a little bit more difficult to tell the difference.
Too purple, you think?
Yeah, it looked better a different way, but it doesn't look back.
Bring it up to the camera.
But one thing that's the most important thing is I have a few locations. This part of the tail, this part of the head, and certain parts of the wings have been done in purple. Where there is no dry brushing done, I intentionally filled all the cracks with purple. If you can notice.
Kind of a base coat, basically.
Yeah, base coat.
And on
I'm
mine,
going to be dry brushing every area where that is with purple, and all the blue areas except for these wings because I really like that cobalt.
show them the two paints you're going to be using. And yes, we are using
blue and purple, and I'll probably. Did you do this with neon purple on the bases?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
What colors was it? Just neon purple?
It was the.
Ignoring the red.
It was the contrast paint.
Ignoring the red color shifter because there's only there's barely any areas where that's necessary. I think.
Appropriate. Yes, it was the contrast homemade blue, then neon purple, then I did a little bit of this color shifter
On some
paint.
areas, but not all.
We're not real happy with this color shifter, and it's.
I mean, it does work.
Also, it does, but it's not a color we love, and I'm going to be using the greenish color shifter. I didn't get to use it in the last video. I'm really happy with the way his face turned out. That's probably my favorite part of this dragon, and I was very careful to make that silver dark color come through.
Also, I will be using that neon red, just so you know.
The neon green?
No.
The color shifter.
Color shifter red.
Okay.
I'm dumb.
Keep that over on your side.
I'm not intelligent for some reason right now.
But all in all, I'm trying to keep this one as simple as possible to kind of go with the original Alien theme of it just being just pure black. I did want to do that with this one. I am thinking about trying to do one that is more or less all black.
You should though, because it's just.
Remember that spider creature that I did with the purple and black?
Oh.
I want to do something like that. And since we do have 2 Xenos left, I may do that someday. But for now, I'm just going to finish this guy up, and next month we'll be moving on to different dragons.
Entirely different thing. The next sci-fi, we're still going to be doing one this year. Star Schlock exists,
Yes.
but not for a while. And I do kind of want to do another one.
But speaking of Star Schlock, it finished its Kickstarter last week along with Dungeons and Lasers. Both of them far exceeded their expectations. One's a much larger Kickstarter. And we also backed another interesting Kickstarter. I believe it's called Sisters of the Kraken Cult to go along with our Cthulhu fandom. So,
That's not the word I would use.
we're big, Cthulhu fans. And it was a neat little Kickstarter. It was only about 14 miniatures, and we'll be getting those from the UK sometime later in the year. But in the meantime, let's get painting.
Yes.
I shook up all your paints for you, but I do need to hit mine up a bit. And we'll be mostly dry brushing. You want to pick out your brush?
It's actually all going to be dry brushing.
For you. I am going to try to do a little bit of edge highlighting. And I'm going to show you guys
I don't
a little trick that I use when I do, kind of like sort of a pre-zenithal highlighting tip. It's really simple, but we'll get to that in just a moment.
Do I force them out?
Yeah, just squirt it out. With these craft paints, you really need to shake them up. But I found that they actually excel as a dry brush paint because they're so thick that
But they're thick and thin at the same time.
even when I'm doing a base coat of these things, I actually use the dry brushing technique and just basically dry brush it over and over and over until I actually get the color I want. Because if you try to use the paint when it's really, really wet, it just makes, paint streak lines.
That was the most recent one.
Yeah, I would use a little bit more.
So,
It's very streaky, it's very gloppy and thick, and just, it's not really suited for miniature painting. And watering it down is okay if you want to use it like a glaze effect, or you don't mind doing, 10 different, coats of a really watered down color as your base coats. These really, even though a lot of people still use them for base coats, I did for decades. I used, the reason I have so many craft paints is because that's all I used for more than 10 years, I want to say, maybe even longer, when I was painting.
Should I go get the... Continue, actually?
When I was painting before the little guy was born, that's all I had. I didn't have any Citadel paints. There was nowhere to get them. The only Games Workshop and hobby stores around just didn't carry them. And okay, that's going to be way too much. I actually don't want this brush. I wanted the other one. We found a makeup brush that is very, very similar in shape as the smaller dry brush.
Other than the fact that it falls apart every time
Yeah,
you use it?
yeah. These makeup brushes, they don't clean well. I suppose I could just leave them with the paint on them and just dry them clean. But I really don't like that, and so I will use a little bit of water or cleaner. And the hairs will come out, after too few uses. Let's just put it that way. But if you notice, it's got a very similar tip to the Army Painter. Actually all three sizes, where it's sort of curved at the front and sort of bullet shaped basically, and they make for halfway decent dry brushes. So far though, what do you think of the Army Painter? You like them better?
Army Painter dry brushes?
Yes.
They're really good.
Yeah, I was really happy when I was using it last week off camera.
For some reason this neon purple isn't showing up.
Yeah, when you dry brush, you will need to
Maybe it's just that it's not dark enough for it to show up.
you will need to do several passes with it.
I'm not saying I can just do one.
Yeah, I'm just doing more or less what you might almost call edge highlighting for my dry brushing with this neon, because I still want the metallic to show through, but when we throw in, our black lights, as we're, fond of doing, especially during the Sunday show-off show and things like that, I want...
I'm not going to do it during this video, but we will do it off camera.
I want the effect to kind of still, use its neon magic.
You should probably turn that off. But continue.
Just saying, I do want just the tiniest little bit of neon to come through when we do hit it with the black light. We also need to invest in a much better black light than just the invisible ink pen, don't you think?
No.
No. I actually bought some black lights
And
over the Halloween season last year, and they just were absolutely terrible. I don't even think they were black light. I think they were just,
or UV light, whatever you want to call them.
right. I think they were just purple glass, and they thought that would cut it, and that's not really how a black light bulb works. For you old schoolers who used to have the black light posters in your room like I did, it was really something different, especially if you had the long fluorescent tube black lights like I did. They were actually a lot of fun. Can I see that light? Sport?
Okay.
As you can see, in this light you can't see. You pretty much still see the metallic green that I used, but here you can see that it starts turning purple, and that's exactly what I want.
Where's in purple?
See how The green sort of turns purple now.
Do you mean it stays green? It glows a bit.
Well, it looks a little purple to me.
Yeah, but that's just because it's not glowing strong enough because of the light. What little light there is isn't causing it to glow as much as
This is
it
going to be
is.
the hard part, is going onto the face, because I do not want to mess up any of the... You know what, I'm going to use a much smaller brush for that. It's just
You're gonna use the what?
much smaller brush for that, because I know I will mess it up. There we go, we'll go with that one. So we hope you guys are getting ready for summer. Little guy's going to be out of school in just one more week,
Yes.
and he's looking forward to it, as am I.
And I'm kind of surprised, but also not surprised at all, that this final week or two, or this final month or whatever, this final few weeks or days or whatever of school aren't as, I guess, what would be the word for it?
Hectic?
Maybe. As usual.
Full of homework?
I guess. As usual, but that's probably because
What do you think, folks?
half of the people are on online.
Can you see what's going on there? It's looking pretty cool. Even in the dining room light we have here going on here, I think that's looking pretty cool. So like I was saying about summer vacation, we plan on upping our game with all of our videos. We'll have the extra time to dedicate to bringing about a little bit better content, a little bit more thought out. And unlike our comments from the lighthouse, we do have some plans to make some rather ambitious projects this summer.
Yeah, so this is what we're splitting next month, and by next month I mean most of summer break technically.
Right. We're not sure exactly how much time he's going to get off, but we know it's at least 2 months. So some of our projects are actually going to be multi-part projects, so you can catch up with us if you decide to, do any of the projects at home. But they're nothing too, difficult, just lengthy and larger in size.
Yeah, but we might
As
actually.
in how much space they will take up, and we're going to try to keep the ingredients pretty simple.
Okay, I'm done with this color of dry brushing. But I also need another small dry brush. Would this work?
Yeah, as long as or the other one, not that one. That's a detail brush.
This one, I assume you mean?
Yeah,
Are you not looking?
yeah, that one's fine. Even though it's got some.
It's awful. I think it's almost too bad for dry brushing.
What about this one?
That's the one I was gonna use.
Yeah, this one is actually not this one, but this one. I don't even know why this one's on the table.
Well, the one that is splitting.
Yeah, you don't want to use that. Sometimes it's okay when
for
you're.
dry brushing.
Well, sometimes it's okay when you're, doing something that's, just sort of weathering it, if you will. But when you're doing something that's,
Actual dry brushing.
well, when it's a little bit more detailed work, like what I was doing on the face here, you don't want those wild hairs to go somewhere they don't belong. I almost think I might skip some of the color shifter on this guy, except maybe I'll do that on his like spikes and things.
Do these spikes look good?
Yeah, I like them blue actually.
Just regular blue?
Yeah, well, if you want to use the neon, that's great. But I like the
Is it blue?
the contrast between the purple and the blue.
Isn't the purple and blue barely contrast?
No, but I mean you can see them really clearly on the dragon. You know exactly what those are. They don't blend in with the other aspects of that model. This is going to be the hard part. Oh, well, I should have done that as well, but I guess I set it against it.
Oh, can you hand me the pen?
Sure.
I think that looks good. For some reason, it's not showing up on the.
Well, the camera can't see it at that angle.
Yeah, but I don't think it. I don't think should we do the black light during this video?
No, let's save that for the end of the month. Just if they can see the small effect with the pen, that's you know, they're gonna have to stay tuned for the full visual.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's possible to notice.
Yeah, it'll work better in the dark, and you'll get the full effect. Remember when we did the golems and everything in that video? It really turned out neat.
Yeah.
That was a fun video.
Yeah. I just have a few. I think I have a few ideas for how we're gonna format next month. I almost want to do it in a completely separate way to how we usually format our videos or our months, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we have more time, and also because I want certain things to be certain ways. Not sure if we're gonna do it. I kind of just thought of it
Oh, okay.
during the filming of this video.
Well, we can talk about it, you know, off camera and come up with some new
and
stuff.
then we'll announce it during. Well, if any changes happen or many changes happen, and any schedule changes that happen will all be only temporary.
Yeah, and we can just let everybody know in our monthly announcement video.
Yeah.
And I'll be on this underside, and I'll be just about done. You know what? I might work on the base while you're doing what you're doing, unless you're.
I mean, I just finished.
Oh, okay.
But there's still one more thing I can do.
Okay.
Don't have to do it, and that's the what's it called? This stuff. But I guess we'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow or some other day.
Yeah, I don't even know that it needs that color.
I'm gonna use it in a few specific parts.
Yeah, it's just.
Also, I haven't done any of the base yet. But yeah, I'm done.
Okay, let me finish these wings off real quick here. I don't really like that color.
What color?
The color change, that pink color.
It's red.
It's just. I know people will use it for a lot of different things, but it's just not really my cup of tea. You know, I like the colors that I like, and there's a lot of colors in my paint collection. You know, I've got close to 150 different colors in my Army Painter / Vallejo collection, which isn't really a lot, but there are colors I have never used to this day, and that's just my personal taste, I guess. That I'm glad I have those colors, and I will use them someday. But like that metallic pink, I
used it once and
yeah, I will probably never use that color again. I cannot think of anything. If I was playing Games Workshop games and I played Slaanesh, I think it is, I would definitely use that color. That color would be, just perfect for those guys. But with the kind of stuff I do use, I don't see that. Okay, let me borrow the pen real quick. You guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm just going over the wing vein lines, whatever those things are called, making sure that I did get what I was trying to get. And make sure I didn't get too much, if any, off on the night scale color. I didn't put any on his shoulders back here. I think I should do that later. But I'll give you one last look at his glorious face. I think it turned out really spiffy.
You gonna do it?
Do what?
Okay.
And bring yours up here. Let him get a good look at your masterpiece. Although
It's only
I
masterpiece.
was going to say it's not your masterpiece. You've done a lot of things that I think are closer. Turn him a little.
I assume you're talking about painting.
Yes. Hold this so that you can get it in the camera. Let me take a look at the way you did your face. Just curious. Okay. Yeah, you might want to add a little more, but it could be because I'm just not close enough. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Yes, we're big old kids in a candy store when it comes to lighting and special effects and things like that.
Yeah, because I use special effects in everything I've ever made. And not just walking around with a box filled with weird clothes and a shark head.
Someday we're going to have to show them that video, bud. That was just...
It's up. It's public.
Okay, well, maybe we'll put a link in the...
No, there's no reason for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we get a request, though, I'll sneak a link in there. But there you have it.
There's no reason for it.
Yeah. Other than sheer embarrassment.
No, I don't care about that. No, well, I don't really care about that aspect.
He doesn't embarrass easily.
I used to, not that much anymore.
Yeah. Teenage years are coming in, and that'll all change.
Well, I still don't want people saying a few things. Which is why, anyways, that has been today's episode of the Shadow and Sun Show, and he didn't do the thing that he does in 50%, not 50, over, like 75%. Okay, never mind, he just did it now. Anyways, yeah, that's the video. Yes. Anyways, that's the video.
Hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you guys Tuesday with something pretty special for you Final Faction fans out there. I know I've been hinting about it for about 2 months now.
2 months, well, you've been hinting for 2 months. And
we'll show that off. Until then, have a absolutely fabulous week. Thanks for stopping by. We love you guys. We'll see you soon.
Oh.
You forgot something?
No, I remembered something. Anyways, that's the video. Bye. The dog's right there.
Good night, everybody.
And, adios. And, sumos.